Okay, so what we were doing in the previous video, we were just learning how to write down some stuff that people said. Okay, and I had them in little pairs, equal and not equal went together. And the reason for that is because you're always going to have an H0 and an H1 or HA. H0 stands for null hypothesis. These always include an equal sign. So one of the two parts of these two things are opposites of each other. One of them always had the equal sign and one of them didn't. And this one does not have an equal sign. Okay, so let's go through this and we'll figure these things out. The mean temperature is 98.6. Okay, is. Don't see any mores, less, any of those kind of words. Is. So that would definitely be, the mean is 98.6. That is what they said. Okay, the other one, the one that's the opposite, I'm going to write that one down as well because you're always supposed to write down both of them. Okay, so there's a whole lot more to chapter 8, but at some point we have to be able to translate the problem into symbols. So this section really is just how am I going to translate all these problems. At most 2 phones. Okay, yeah, so I got to figure out about the English language again. At most 2 phones. All right, people who have at most 2 phones don't have 3. The most they have is 2. So they might have 0, or they might have 1, or they might have 2, but they definitely don't have 3. So they have less than or equal to 2. And then the opposite of that is to say greater than. At least 70% believe in, what do they believe in? Aliens. Okay, at least 70% believe. At least 70%. Okay, so it could be 71%. It's at least 70%, but it might be more. At least 70%, could be 71%, 72%, could be just 70%, but it's definitely not 69%. It's greater than or equal to 70%. And the opposite of that is less than 70%. The age of getting a driver's license is 16.5 years. Okay, I love the is ones. After all this sitting here kind of counting things off on my fingers and trying to figure out which way I'm going, I love the is ones. All I got to do is equals, yes, I know how to do that. That's supposed to be mu. People want less than 4 kids. Oh, it's written right in the problem right there. Less than 4 kids. I know. Okay. Well, it doesn't have an equal sign. So it's supposed to go over here. They didn't say an equal sign. I'm not allowed to write one. And if it doesn't have an equal sign, it has to go in that H1 column. Even though it's what they said, it's going in that column. More than 5 out of 8. More than. So, well, first of all, I'm going to change 5 out of 8. 5 divided by 8 is 0.625 because I like decimals a whole lot better. Okay, more than 0.625. It was like chocolate ice cream. More than 0.625 like chocolate ice cream. More than that. So like maybe 63%, 64%, not 62.5%. It's more than that. Okay, so there's no equals in that. I can't set it equal to 62.5%. It's more than that. So they're over here. More than 0.625. Okay. All right, and that just goes along just fine. I don't have any problem putting things into the right columns. Okay, so let's see, lifespan is less than 5 years versus lifespan is less than or equal to 5 years. In this case, less than 5 years goes over here. And in this case, less than or equal to 5 years goes over here. Okay, that little equals changes everything. Because it goes from being something over here to something over here. All right, okay, I'm good with that. And everybody's good with that in section 8.2, and all of a sudden that gets really annoying in later sections. The fact that you put stuff into this H1 column where you feel like, I should have put something, shouldn't I have put something in H0? Because I wanted to do something with H0. But no, you just do what it says. So if they don't include an equal sign, you can't put things into this column if there's no equal sign. All right, now tails. Okay, so this was more helpful if you had to do it all by hand, because we're gonna let the calculator incorporate the tails into it. But the tails has everything to do with what sign you got in the HA, the H1 column. All right, and here we're just kind of marking it down. It's important because I'm going to have to put that piece of information into my calculator. As it turns out, my calculator would rather see the little signs than whether I think I should write down one tail or two tails. But that's where the information is coming from. Not equals, I'm always going to write down two tails. All right, greater than. Basically, I'm just going with the arrow. If that arrow is pointing to the right, I'm going to call this right-tailed. Looking at the H1 column, I'm not looking at the H0 column. This is left. This is 2. This is left, whatever way the arrow is pointing. This is right, left, and right. Okay, those are different types of tests, whether it's a right test or left test, but my calculator's gonna know it the second I put in whatever that sign in the H1 column is. So I don't have to keep track of the words right and left the whole time.